The joke this morning when I told you about stealing Dottie's refrigerator, I had her permission to use her name and her business, or I wouldn't have done it. I told her the joke a few weeks ago, and she approved it. If she didn't, you never would have heard it. So humor can be a real problem. I do not suggest you use humor. I don't like the name social network. It really doesn't talk about what this is. This is really relationship marketing. You're going to use these 5 tools. LinkedIn is going to be all your professional credentials. Facebook is going to be kind of your friendly place to go. Twitter is a micro blog. We're going to use a real blog, and we'll talk about that, and we're going to use YouTube. When you use a blog, the reason I mentioned earlier about getting writer's block, a blog is very powerful because you can put anything you want there. It's a blank slate. You can open up your blog for comments from other people. People can come there and take a look at it and comment on it. That's a good thing. If someone puts something on your blog that you don't like, you must address it immediately. Don't allow any negative information about you out on the web. Because other people are going to come along and they're going to say, well, you know, yeah, Wayne English is, I don't like him, and I don't like his dog, and I don't like anything about him. You have to address that. You can't let that sit. So you have to come back and you have to say whatever it takes so that you address any negative information on you. Don't, once you're aware of it, do something about it. Don't just leave it there. Other people are going to see that. Now, some blogs, not all, but some, offer you the opportunity to see any post that goes on before it's placed online. You'll get an email. TypePad offers that. There are others, and we'll talk about them in a minute or two. But what they will do, you can set your blog up so that when someone responds or leaves a comment, you get an email and you can see it before it goes online. That's one way to get around it. You can keep the negative information from ever getting there. Yes?
You said if there's something negative to address it immediately.
Yes.
What would be some ways to address it?
Well, if it's a customer who's, let's say, you've had a problem with and they just don't like you, you could say, I'm sorry to hear that so-and-so feels that way. We tried everything we could to address this customer's problem. We offered this person additional services at no charge. We offered to make a 50% refund. We offered blah, blah, blah. Here's what we've done to address this person's concerns. And we don't feel this is valid. We went out of our way to address this. And the concerns weren't things that we had, let's say, direct control over. You might have picked up this account from somebody else and there was a problem before you ever got it, that sort of thing. But you definitely want to show the world that this person had a problem, you did everything you could to fix it, and you've gone out of your way. You want to show good customer service. That's important. If you don't do that, the next person who comes along and sees that people are having a problem with you, you will never know how many people that turned off.
And Wayne, once there's a blog out there, is it there forever? There's no deleting?
You can, if it's a free blog, it's probably there forever. A free blog is something like Blogger, that's in your handout. WordPress.com, that's in your handout. Some of this stuff does stay out there forever. If it's a blog that you own and you control, let's say TypePad. I'm not here to sell TypePad. I've used it for years. I like it. I want you to know that. I'm not trying to sell you their services. I don't have anything to gain if you go that way or not. If you own it and control it, you're paying a monthly fee for it, you can make it go away. Some of this other stuff stays out there forever. I had an account on CompuServe so long ago, I couldn't even tell you. And that stayed, even after, years after I had stopped using CompuServe, there were pieces of that account that were still out there. I think I had a photography book that I'd written out there, and pieces of that were there for years, and they finally went out of business, and it finally went away. But your point is well taken. Some of these things that you get for free will stay there for a long, long time. You can't get rid of them. That's one of the things I don't like about things that are free. Free is nice, it doesn't cost you any money. But on the other side of that, you can have problems. You want something to go away, you can't make it go away. Some of these, some free blogs give you more control than others do. So it's not something I can address directly. Do you all know what a blog is? Blog is a word from web and log. It's a place where you can just type stuff in. If you have opinions about anything or you want to get your message out, you can put in photographs, you can put in web addresses, text, write whatever you want. And then people can read that and they can click on it, a link, and they can actually respond, and their response will be on your blog. That's why I mentioned earlier that when you get negative responses, you need to address them. Blogs are real good. You can use a blog to show the world that you're up on your field. This is important for you, for business and professional people. If I'm looking for someone to do business with, I find you online and I say, oh, local, that's good. I'm looking for a carpet guy, let's say, and I was a couple of weeks ago. If I go to your blog, I can read, and you're talking about the latest carpeting. Well, that's good. You're up on your field. If you're an accountant, or you're a CPA, or you're an engineer, or you're a salesperson, you can show the world that you know what you're doing because you have links to recent articles on your field. You have perhaps quotes from people who are well known in your field. You might say, I just read this book, or I read that book. You can show the world that you know that you're up on your field. That's important.